In the shadow of the Galactic Empire's iron grip, the cosmos trembled under the weight of its tyranny. Planets bowed, stars dimmed, and mothers wept. On the edge of the Orion Arm, in a ramshackle hut perched on a rogue asteroid, lived Baba Yaga, the witch of legend, her name whispered in fear and awe. Her home spun through the void, cloaked in ancient runes that bent light and gravity to her will. She was no ordinary crone. Her eyes burned with the fire of 1,000 suns, and her fingers wove spells from the threads of forgotten galaxies. But even Baba Yaga had a heart, and it beat for her 2 children, stolen by the Empire's cold enforcers. The Empire had come in the night, their sleek warships slicing to the asteroid's defenses like knives through silk. They took her twins, Luca and Mira, barely 10 years old, their laughter snuffed out as they were dragged into the belly of a transport ship. The Emperor's decree was clear. Gifted children were to be harvested, their latent powers molded into weapons for the Imperial Academy. Baba Yaga's pleas were met with blaster fire, her hut scorched but unyielding. They left her bleeding, broken, but alive, a mistake they would soon regret. For weeks, she scoured the stars, her grief a black hole swallowing reason. Her magic, potent as it was, couldn't pierce the Empire's encrypted networks to find her children. Desperate, she sought an ally, one as fearless and ferocious as she. Her search led her to the lawless planet of Crag, a dust-choked world where only the mad and the monstrous thrived. There, in a dive bar carved into a canyon wall, she found her partner, a honey badger named Varkis, a creature of pure, unrelenting chaos. Varkis was no ordinary beast. Genetically enhanced by a rogue scientist, he stood 3 feet tall, his claws sharp enough to rend durasteel, his teeth capable of crushing bone to dust. His fur was matted with the blood of his enemies, and his eyes gleamed with defiance that matched Baba Yaga's own. The locals called him the Devil's Claw, a terror who'd torn through slavers, pirates, and Imperial scouts alike. When Baba Yaga offered him a chance to strike at the heart of the Empire, Varkis didn't hesitate. He growled, baring teeth that promised ruin, and the pact was sealed. Their journey began in the underbelly of the galaxy, tracking whispers of the Imperial Academy's location. Baba Yaga's hut, now a mobile warship powered by her sorcery, wove through asteroid fields and nebulae, evading Imperial patrols. Varkis prowled the hull, his senses sharper than any sensor array, sniffing out traps and ambushes. Their first lead came from a defected Imperial officer, a trembling man hiding in a smuggler's den on Nar Shaddaa. He spoke of a fortress on the ice planet Vrynn, where the Empire trained its stolen prodigies. Baba Yaga's fingers twitched, summoning a spectral raven that plucked the officer's secrets from his mind before he could lie. Vrynn it was. The journey to Vrynn was perilous. Imperial cruisers patrolled the hyperspace lanes, and Baba Yaga's magic strained to keep the hut cloaked. Varkis, restless, tore through the hut's interior, shredding furniture in his impatience to fight. "Patience, beast," Baba Yaga muttered, her voice like gravel. "Blood will come." She brewed potions in her cauldron, mixing stardust and venom to craft explosives that could crack a starship's hull. Varkis watched, unimpressed, gnawing on a bone he'd scavenged from some forgotten kill. Vrynn loomed, a frozen wasteland glittering under a dying star. The Imperial Academy was a monolithic fortress, its spires piercing the sky like daggers. Sensors swept the perimeter, and droid sentinels patrolled the ice. Baba Yaga landed her hut in a crevasse, masking its presence with a spell that turned it into a shadow. She and Varkis moved as one, her magic cloaking them in a haze of frost, his claws silent on the ice. They reached the fortress's outer wall, where Baba Yaga whispered an incantation, dissolving the Duracrete into ash. Varkis surged through first, a blur of fury, tearing into a patrol droid before it could sound an alarm. Inside, the fortress was a labyrinth of sterile corridors and glowing consoles. Baba Yaga's raven scouted ahead, their spectral forms slipping through walls to map the layout. They found the children in a training wing, wired to machines that siphoned their latent powers. Luca and Mira were pale, their eyes hollow, but alive. Baba Yaga's heart clenched, her rage a supernova ready to erupt. Varkis sensed it, his growl low and eager. "Not yet," she hissed, though her hands trembled with the urge to unleash hell. The plan was simple. Infiltrate, extract, destroy. Baba Yaga wove a spell of illusion, cloaking herself as an Imperial officer and Varkis as a maintenance droid. They moved through the fortress, her staff tapping a rhythm that lulled guards into a daze. Varkis, barely contained, shredded a control panel to disable the security grid, his claws sparking against the metal. Alarms blared, but Baba Yaga was ready. She hurled a vial from her satchel, and a cloud of violet smoke erupted, choking the air with paralytic mist. Stormtroopers collapsed, their armor clattering like fallen dominoes. They reached the training wing, where Luca and Mira were strapped to chairs, their minds probed by neural probes. Baba Yaga's spell shattered the machines, sparks raining as the children stirred. "Mama?" Mira whispered, her voice fragile. Baba Yaga knelt, her gnarled hands gentle as she freed them. Luca clung to her, tears soaking her cloak. Varkis stood guard, his snarls keeping approaching droids at bay, his claws leaving gashes in the floor. But the Empire was not so easily defied. A squadron of elite shadow troopers, clad in black armor and wielding vibroblades, stormed the wing. Their leader, a towering figure named Captain Vrax, sneered at Baba Yaga. "You dare challenge the Emperor's will?" he spat. Baba Yaga's laughter was a crackle of thunder. "I am the will of the stars, fool." She raised her staff, and the air ignited, flames spiraling toward the troopers. Varkis leapt into the fray, a whirlwind of claws and teeth, tearing through armor like paper. Together, they were unstoppable, her magic weaving shields and spears of light, his savagery a tide of destruction. Vrax fell, his helmet cracked by Varkis' jaws, but the fortress was waking. Reinforcements poured in, and the children were still weak, unable to run. Baba Yaga scooped them into her arms, her strength defying her withered frame. "Hold tight," she growled, as Varkis cleared a path. They fled through collapsing corridors, Baba Yaga's potions exploding behind them, sealing passages with rubble and fire. The hut waited in the crevasse, its runes glowing as it sensed her approach. They boarded, but the Empire's wrath followed. TIE fighters screamed from the fortress, their lasers scorching the ice. Baba Yaga's hut roared to life, its engines fueled by her will. She chanted, and the asteroid itself shifted, hurling boulders at the pursuing ships. Varkis, perched at a viewport, roared his defiance, his claws itching for more blood. The hut broke orbit, diving into hyperspace as Vryn's surface erupted in Imperial fury. Safe in the void, Baba Yaga tended to her children. Luca and Mira slept, their faces peaceful for the first time in weeks. Varkis curled up beside them, his ferocity softened, his snout resting on Myra's hand. Baba Yaga watched them, her heart a mix of relief and rage. The Empire would hunt them. She knew this. But she was Baba Yaga, the witch who defied gods and empires alike. And with Varkis at her side, no force in the galaxy could stand against her. She steered the hut toward a distant nebula, a place where stars were born and secrets hid. The Empire had taken her children once, but never again. Her magic would grow stronger, her allies fiercer. Varkis snorted in his sleep, dreaming of battles yet to come. Baba Yaga smiled, her eyes glinting with the promise of vengeance. The galaxy would tremble, and the Emperor would learn what it meant to cross a mother's wrath.